All right, guys, welcome to the Florida Treasure Coast Market Update.
You better get fired up.
All right, okay, so what we're going to do is I am going to share my screen, and I want to show you what's going on in the market right now, okay? And I'm going to go through and just kind of look at things that I would normally look at when I'm going through and updating my stats. It's nice when you're talking with clients to be able to share information with them that makes them confident in what you're doing. So today I'm going to go through and we're looking at Port St. Lucie. You can see there are 1,460 total listings, okay? I really keep track of single-family detached listings. You can see that number's at 1,292. We'll just round that up to 1,300. And I'll never forget, I really started tracking these stats back in March, specifically March 26th, which, my gosh, I'm noticing for the first time was exactly 7 months ago from today. And on that day, we had 365 single-family home listings available, right? So if I go 1,292 minus 365, that's our growth, divided by 365. Yeah, so that's how much we've gone up in a short amount of time, right? Over, what is that, 3.53 times 365? Yeah. Over 3.5 times the amount of listings are on the market today for single-family homes in Port St. Lucie that were on the market just 7 months ago. Now, I want to show you something. I'm going to skip ahead. We'll come back to that in just a second. But if we go to inventory, right, look at active. It's gone way up, as you can see, as I just stated, right? But if I come to solds, what's going on with solds? Well, you can see it kind of hovers around that 555 a year ago, 581, 638. Then it dips in January. Traditionally a pretty cold month. Then it comes back up in February to 516, 664. These are monthly sales, the total amount of monthly sales in Port St. Lucie. In May, we were at 620, 606, 514, 541, and now last month 459. So it's come down a little bit, not enough to really scare me or anything like that. So we're still seeing sales. The difference that we're seeing now versus 7 months ago is that 7 months ago, everything was selling. Now the homes that are selling are the homes that are priced appropriately. So I'll tell you too, if I go into a listing appointment and talk with a seller, and I tell that seller that their home is, pick a price, it doesn't matter, $500,000. 9 out of 10 sellers are going to say, great, let's start at 525. That's just what humans do, right? It's pretty rare to see someone come in at 500 grand. Right now, who is selling? The people who, when they're told their home is worth 455, 550, whatever it is, they're listing at that price. Those are the people who's selling. If you're overpriced, it's really challenging to sell right now. Also, regardless of how you're priced, it's got to be staged well. So staged well may mean you want a professional stager in there, but at a minimum, your home has to look spotless. You don't want things in there reminding people that you've got pets. You don't want dog hair. You don't want massive amounts of furniture or large pieces of furniture. You absolutely want a clean house. You want to take care of your landscaping outside, all kinds of things that really set your home above and beyond everybody else's home, right? So there is a big difference between the homes selling and not selling right now, but absolutely homes are still selling. I'm going to share a little bit of good news with you too that I just researched. 2 stats. Number one, Fannie Mae came out and said that their expectation for rates at the end of 2023, so roughly 12 months from now, is that they are going to be in the mid-4s. Right now, we're looking at about 7.5. That's a week-old data. We might be a little bit higher, a little bit lower. But 7.5 to 4.5, that's a huge swing in a great direction for buyers and sellers, right? Buyers want to see those low rates because then they want to buy. And, of course, if they're going to buy, then sellers are happy because they've got more buyer interest, right? Now, you might say, okay, that's Fannie Mae. Great. But if you look at I'm not going to be able to remember what it is now. The Mortgage Bankers Association, they came out and said by the end of next year, they expect low to mid 5s, right? So regardless of who you're looking at, these are 2 giant organizations saying that they expect rates to come down. Why? There were a slew of different reasons for that, but it's interesting to see that these folks who are generally pretty accurate with their numbers are coming out and saying that, okay? So again, Active right now, we've got quite a few. I'm going to come back to Port St. Lucie, roughly 1,300 single-family homes. Let's go back down to single-family. And I'm going to come over to CMA, and I'm going to hit Use All Results. And let's start looking at some stats on that entire market of roughly, what was it, 1,292 homes. Okay, so you can see right here, the average ask price is 501, right? I'm going to guess the median's a little bit lower, probably in that 440 to 460 range, but the average is 501. Why do I say the median's probably a little bit lower? I think there are more homes priced a little bit lower, but you've got homes like this one, the highest priced home in Port St. Lucie right now at 3.95, pulling that average up considerably, right? List price per square foot. And remember, when we're comparing list price to actual sales price, you're going to see a difference. I want you to see that trend. I will tell you, 12 months ago, 24 months ago, the ask price was actually lower than the sales price per square foot. That's pretty rare to see. But we stopped because the market was so hot, right? So we're at 249. I'm going to write this down right now. 249.61 a square foot. So you can easily do some math. If you get a 2,000 square foot home, what did I say? 249.61 times 2,000, right? 499, 220 is the average. Now, if you got a pool, it's going to go up. If it's dated, it's going to go down. If you've got a brand new metal roof, it's going to go up. If you've got a garage that's been converted, it's probably going to come down, right? So you got some things that are impacting that value. But at least you know that the average price per square foot right now, asking is 249.61. Days on market. This is interesting. The cumulative days on market is 74. 74, folks. If you go back and look at some of these videos that I did a year ago, you'll see that number was 12, 15, 22. It was down there, right? Every home was selling. Every home was getting offers. It was just, are you ridiculously overpriced or just kind of overpriced? The ridiculously overpriced lasted 3 weeks. The kind of overpriced sold in 2 days, right? But now we're seeing homes sit. This is a different market. You have to be aggressive. You have to be with someone who is going to market the crap out of your property, who knows how to negotiate, who works hard to stay on top of all the issues from the day you get a contract until the day you close. It is imperative right now, right? So there we go. There are some stats on the active. So I'm going to come back and we're going to look at exactly the same thing, but this time I want to look at what's actually closed, and we're going to go back, let's say 60 days, okay? Any more than that, and it's not really the same market, but any less than that, I don't know how much data I'll get. Well, let's see. We got Port St. Lucie. Dude, that's a lot of data. We got a lot of closings. All right, let's go back 30 days instead. Oh, you know why? Because I got 2021. Come on, Joe. What we got now? 734. Okay, we're going to come back even just 1 month because we've got so many sales here. 332. That's enough, and you can see these little blue dots indicate the location of those different sales. So I'm going to come into CMA. We got 300 and what was it? 334. That's a lot of sales to get some good data from, right? Yep. Next. View. And here we are. So now you're going to see that the average list price of sold homes is 416. And the highest one that sold was just over $1 million at 1.049. What does that tell me? That tells me two things. Number one, you've got a lot of people overpriced. They're asking way more than their home is worth. If the average ask price is 501, the average sales price, or I should say list price of a sold home is 416.1, that tells me a lot of people are A, overpriced, and B, it tells me that those homes in the 300 to 500 range are selling at a heck of a lot better rate than the homes that are at the 600 to, whatever it is, $1 million range, right? So if you are in that 600 to $1 million range, again, the more challenging it is, the more I would recommend getting a really strong listing agent. We've had agents over the last, maybe 3 years. As long as you know how to fill out a contract, you can sell a house. It is getting more challenging, and who you work with matters more. Now you can see the sold price is 406, 482. That is the average sold price in the last 30 days. Not one home in the last 30 days sold for over $975. So we had no seven-figure sales. I have seen, in my own experience too, a lot of those big buck seven-figure buyers, They're not out there right now. They're sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what happens. People in that $300,000 to $500,000 range are usually buying because they're getting a divorce, or they just got a brand new job, or maybe they've been renting forever and they're like, hey man, I have to get out of this rental situation, start building up my own equity, my own appreciation. Those people need to move. Generally speaking, people in the 7-figure category can wait, right? So it's a little bit different type of buyer. That is probably a lot of what we're seeing right here. List price ask per square foot is $239.91. That is almost exactly $10 a square foot cheaper asking on the homes that actually sell versus the homes that are active on the market right now. What is the actual sold price per square foot? This is $15 cheaper than the current active asking price, right? $234.67. Okay. So I told you that typically if you've got a 2,000 square foot home, typically you're asking $499 for it, right? Again, that's assuming averages, which, my gosh, there's 37 different variables you got to take into consideration when you're looking at a home, but just averages, right? But now when you look at actual sold prices, $234.67, if you get that same 2,000 square foot home, it's actually selling for just shy of $470. Okay, so that's a big difference here. Now we've got cumulative days on market, 31. So of the homes that are selling, it's taking almost exactly a month to sell. But of the market that's sitting right now, we're at, what was it, 74 days? It was 70 something. So you're seeing right away within the first 4 weeks, you should know if your home is going to sell or not. And I would argue it doesn't even take 4 weeks. It takes about 2 or 3, and you've got a good feel for it, right? A lot of these people that are on for 31 days and selling, they were on for 2 weeks, they dropped the price, then they got a contract in place. Folks who come on, they're getting hardly any showings, they're not dropping the price, they're not trying to remedy any issues that are coming up as negative responses to the feedback after showings. They're going to have a challenging time selling. So this is all very telling, very helpful information. Now I want to come back and look at a couple more things. I want to look at these sales right now. And here's what's interesting to me. I want to know, with rates where they're at and people being so fearful of rates, or at least they're saying they're fearful of rates, what percentage of these are purchasing with cash? I can't do, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. I got to look this up. I got to see what it's called. What's it called, Joe? So if we come in, let's look at this one. Doesn't really matter. Come on here. I want to see what it's called. The terms of sale. Okay, so let's go back to edit and let's come down to, instead of terms considered, we're going to go terms of sale. There we go. So terms of sale, let's get rid of this guy just to make sure I don't know how. Okay. So let's go to cash. So out of, okay, so 74 out of, was it 334? 333. 74 divided by 333, that's 22% are selling cash. Guys, I'm telling you, that's pretty normal. That's pretty normal. That's what I was seeing a year ago. That's what I was seeing 2 years ago. How many are doing conventional loans? 150 out of 333. What's that, about 47%? 45%. Okay. How about FHA? FHA was the loan that was impossible to get accepted. That's how it was pitched by every listing agent out there. Now out of 333, how many are getting FHA? 80. The folks who have a tough time coming up with cash, right? It's a little bit cheaper option to get in. And right now, just shy of a quarter of all buyers are purchasing using FHA. That is great news for buyers. Okay, so that's phenomenal. So we're seeing those terms open up a little bit. I want to look at one other thing. Let's come in here. Again, I got to remember what it was called. It's at the bottom, and it is called buyer contributions amount. Right, so let's come down here, get rid of this, and add field, buyer contributions amount. Now, we'll tell you, in my opinion, I'll never be able to prove this. Some realtors aren't going to enter this information. But let's see how many people had at least $1. Something was given. 1. Yeah, and there's no way that that's true. There's no way that that's true. So forget that stat. It's not really helpful. But yeah, so there we go. We got 334. So let's take a look at some of these homes that are on the market right now and kind of break it down to see what kind of price points we're at. If you're a buyer, what are your options? You got 1,294 options that are single family detached right now. If we come into list price, if you can go up to 500 grand, out of those 1,294, you've got 909, right? So 909 divided by 1,294, you've got 70% of the market available to you. That's phenomenal. If you've got $400,000 as your budget, you've got 425 options. You're looking at roughly a third of the available market here in Port St. Lucie. Guys, you're in South Florida. You've got heat. You're within 20, 30 minutes of the beach. We've got no income tax. I know we think it's expensive here, but honestly, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Miami, New York, they would all disagree. This is a very affordable, beautiful area with no income tax, which is phenomenal, right? So now let's look at 300 grand. I would say this is kind of the lowest price point where you can expect to find something. So we've got 80, right? 80 out of 1,294. It is only 6.18%, but it is 80 options, all right? It is 80 options. And if you want to be, a lot of these people do not want to be in an HOA. They're trying to hit those specific price points. Even if you get 300 grand, once you go into an HOA, sometimes you lose that. If you do not want to be in an HOA, but you do want to be at $300,000, we still have 58 different options. Now, I'm going to tell you, and this isn't a perfect way to do it, but we're going to get a little bit of it here. Subdivision. Let's see if I got it up here. Yeah, I do right here. So Spanish Lakes does not list as an HOA. It's not an HOA. But they do charge monthly rent. So I want to get rid of those. Now you got 52 options. Okay, so you still got 52 options. There are a lot of options out there. You can see where they're located here on the map. And you've got a lot of different options under $300,000. Okay, what if you want a private pool? That's probably one of the bigger things that I get asked about. Private pool under 300 grand, not in an HOA, 4. Not a lot of options there, right? If you come up to $400,000, I'm betting it's going to go up to 28. 48. All right, that's good news. And of course, if you go up to 500 grand, you've got to be in the triple digits. Yeah, 111. There we go. So let's look at, we're going to close out by looking at some of these pool homes. There's only 4 of them that are $300,000 or less, and they are not in an association. Okay. Astor Road, Castanet Lane, Lobster Road, and Tiffany Avenue. So I'm going to come through. Let's look at the photos on this first one. Okay. So just so you guys can get kind of an idea of what a 300,000, this is $299,995. This is what you can get for $300,000 or less. Now, I don't see any major issues with this. It's dated, but it's a cute little house. It looks well maintained. Of course, realtors do a pretty good job of making the house look great, so you never know until you get there. But look, you got a pool out back, man. That's nice. And it looks like a clean pool, and it's screened, and it looks like you got some space in your backyard, and you got a fence there. Yeah, this is a nice little house, man. For 300 grand, that's great. How long has that been on the market? It's been on for 22 days. 22 days. All right, guys, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, there we go. There's the front. You got a 1-stall garage. You got solar panels up top. Cute little kitchen. Looks like a gas stove. Looks clean. There's your pool. Looks like a fiberglass pool. It is screened. It looks clean. You never know until you get there. Here's house number 3. I don't know if this one has a garage. It's tough to tell. Can't really see the pool, so I don't know how nice or not nice it is. It's missing a fridge. It's dated. But guys, this one's $248.9. We're talking about $300,000. This one's under $250. Now the carpet, you've got carpet, but it looks stained. It is older. It's dated. But guys, you're able to get into a house that has a pool. I don't know what that pool looks like. Under $250. That is not something that we saw 6 to 12 months ago. Here's the last one we're going to look at. Look at all those photos. I got a grand total of 1. You get a 2-stall garage, and supposedly I can't even say it. Supposedly it's got a pool, right? Now these homes square footage wise, we got 1452, 912, 1040, and 1182. So they're all a little bit smaller. One of them is a 3-bed. Rest are 2 beds. They all have 2 bathrooms. One's got a 2-stall garage, and 2 of them have a 1-stall garage. They're all on pretty normal lots. This one at the bottom here has 13.5 for square footage, so it's about 35% bigger than a normal lot, which is great. And you can see you've got 2 of them that are CBS homes. None of these are in HOAs, which is going to save you some fees, right? So guys, there you go. There's some great information on the market right now. Hopefully that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. I don't know if it makes you happy or not, but it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. Oh, we got a message here. Enjoying this fire, getting fired up from Florida's cleanest windows. Love that guy. If you guys need windows cleaned, whether it's for your home or your business, reach out to him. I tell you, we've used him before for clients. He's absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate the fire, my friend. Guys, if you've got any questions that you want answered, I'm on here every single Wednesday giving you the Florida Treasure Coast Market Update. I'd be happy to answer any specific questions you've got. If after I get off of here, you've got questions, you post them in the comments, I will always get back and help you with answers. Guys, have an absolutely phenomenal rest of your day.